All right. Ha ha ha. Welcome to the Mad Scientist Tea Party. Check it out. Sound check. Hey, bear with me. All right, and of course that one. And okay, that should do us.
If you'd like, you can go look at those levels.
Huh?
If you'd like, you can go look at the levels on that thing.
Okay. I might. Would you like to sit here?
We'll see.
Okay. So what about here? Okay, wait a minute. Let me plug these headphones in. Let's do it while it's on one line. He's right with you. Going to look at levels. apart. Guess what? This is the Mad Scientist Tea Party, and you have been listening to the Mad Scientist Tea Party and watching the wallpaper in the background move. But there has been something moving on the screen, and there has been noise coming out of the box. And we've been in there talking about the quality of the noise coming out of the box, and we're still working on audio quality. We've had a situation where somewhere maybe near the end of last week, apparently one of the decoders went down for some reason or other and appeared to reset itself to a default volume level that was low and unacceptable. So we have found this out to be true now, and we've reset it, I believe. So we're hoping that this will always be at the proper level. That's right. All right. Let's see. I like to just take all EQ off and go with the straight sound of the microphone itself. We still have sibilants and splatters and little poppy noises and various things like that, and we're going to chase them down with an oscilloscope sometime in the next few days, hopefully. And I know this is all so exciting, but this is genuinely mad scientist stuff, and it just dawned on me that I have a rant, and I have an answer to a lot of the problems. I have an answer to how it is we've gotten ourselves into this situation. Okay, and so I shall rant. Let's see. Wait a minute. Let's see something here. Listen to this. Okay, now we want just enough of that in the background. Not enough to drown out what I'm saying or anything like that, but just enough of that in the background to imply an urgency. All right? Keeps the tension level up on the vibe there. Okay, the vibe is there now. All right, now here's the deal. Okay. Now I did once hear a Baptist preacher that preached from the pulpit. He said, and this is the name of my sermon today. Digital, he says, digital. I'm looking at my levels here. Digital is just another word for devil. Are you listening to this out there? Okay. Digital is just another word for devil. That's right. And here's how that works. I have it all figured out. A lot of the problems we got going on right now in our world, in our I'm coming a little closer to home than the Iraqi war and all that kind of stuff. Although I think the war in Iraq could probably be tied in to a large degree too. But let me see how the tea's doing there. That's getting hot. Okay, how is it that we've wound up in that war? Okay, I'm going to have to come back from the 420 roll and explain how it is that computers have stolen our economy and destroyed our economy. Bad decisions. We're letting the machines make the decisions for us, is what it boils down to, and that's not a good idea. I'll explain how that works when I get back. Well, I seem to have turned it off some way or other here in the process. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Oh. I like that background. That's always been one of my favorite backgrounds. And Michael was here a little while ago from the wallpaper project, and I think he's totally awesome. And you know, I'm such a fan of what they do. And here it is, and we don't know what it is. It's just going to be called 420 roll number 6. And I think it might be the chicken resurrection, but you know, I can't even tell you for sure what it is. It's just what's going to roll. And because it was the first 420 roll in the book that I saw, and that's kind of that's pretty much the deal here, guys.
What's up, my peoples?
Come on.
Oh my God.
Oh dear.
Oh my goodness.
Did you show that to Jonathan?
Will he have little
But
ones?
he
Let's
doesn't
hope
work.
not.
He broke. That's the sad part. We were out there trying to fix him.
Did he ever work? I mean, did you?
He didn't. When I bought him, I just figured his batteries are dead, so I put in new batteries.
And that wasn't it. Let's see.
Computers are good.
Can you see him?
Who, you want to put him up there? Right in front of your teacup or something that he'll fit there.
Should we this over?
There we go.
Aha, there's my next patient. I'm Marsha. I'll be your surgeon today. Just tell me, what kind of symptoms have you been having? Alright, well rest assured, don't worry, you're in good hands. My team and I will take very good care of you, and you'll be ready for release within the next couple of hours. Okay, nurse, take him away. It's time to get you under the anesthesia. Just tuck that in for you. Okay, just about ready. Just take a few more deep breaths.
You're watching the 420 roll.
Ground, white-knuckled, nails cut palms, dig at eyes, peeling flesh, theirs and mine, vibrating at a damaging frequency between lethal explosions, sweat pouring, blood dripping, never dries. A toxic system to spread unseen in blinded masses to rot in pits. Viral glass to be collected from rancid corpses, ground then soaked in reducing chemicals. Extract the living specimens, incinerate detritus, exterminate superfluous populace.
Shh. Good morning. Welcome to the Pleasure Saucer. Always try theater in a crowded fire.
Ah, she dropped it. That's right. All right. This was the 420 roll. Now back to the rant. All right, just a moment. Oh boy. Just a moment, please. That's right. I liked that 420 roll. That had some of my favorite little things in it. It had the chicken resurrection and had the fire twirlers. And I'm sorry that I put that section in there right where she drops it. That's not something she does a lot, you know, but about all of them drop the fire sometime, you know, and that's, boy, that was the way that piece ended. It's just shaped static. That's why it sounds like this. Okay, now to the rant. Now, how does it all work out? How is it that how is digital just another word for devil? I have to look at my levels at the same time here. Okay, now here we go. I'll just turn this down and I'll just sort of lean into it because that's what I want to do anyway. I kind of want to lean into this one and mess with my little thing here and prop my mic up. Okay. Turn them down. Still want a little more than that. All right. Okay. All right. So here's the deal. Too much. Sometime back, and I mean some years ago, I began to notice certain things about the digital domain, and one of them was that the grandest game of all, you know, beats out Space Invaders. And beats out Grand Theft Auto and beats out everything. The grandest game of all has been called Windows, but that's not the point of the rant. That's just an observation I've made about the digital domain. Sometime back, years back, I began to notice that business was being done. And I mean back as far as 10, 20 years back, I really know, not that it hasn't always been done this way, but I began to notice that business was really being done according to the bottom line. And that's the way business is being done. But with the rise of the computer to give a more efficient bottom line, more and more the decisions in business were being made according to the bottom line, and actually human input was being taken away from the equation. And I was seeing business matters decided that would be harmful to the environment. That was the first thing that really started cluing me in. Was I was seeing business decisions made that were not human friendly. That the business decisions that were really not good for the workers and would make me wonder if they would even be good for management. They were, however, good bottom line decisions which had been made basically by a computer. People found that if they could run the numbers, they had designed programs that could take enough variables into account about how an operation was being done the people who followed those, according to what the computer told them, showed better profit margins, and it was plain and simple. Now it could be that the factory had a smokestack, and polluted the atmosphere. And there was an option here for a clean smokestack to be built, which would be a fairly expensive thing, which might be run around the board table or whatever. Those in charge might consider this option, whether or not forced by the government, might consider, well, are we going to upgrade to a system that doesn't pollute, and they'll look at the price of that, and they might consider that. Well, then the main bookkeeper guy comes in, and he's run the numbers on the computer. Well, now it doesn't take a genius, and I'm betting the guy's not one. All right, but he's got a computer. Right, he's put the numbers in. Well, of course, the profit margin for this year compared to next year, with the only variable put in being whether or not they use money this year to build a very expensive, clean smokestack, is going to show bottom line less profit this year due to the fact that money has been spent for a clean smokestack that could be just put back as more profit and invested and show dividends, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So he shows up at the meeting, and as they discuss everything, he says, well, here's the bottom line. We will show a poorer showing to our stockholders if we do this. So the motion to consider a clean smokestack is shot down, and they continue to pollute. This decision has been basically made by a computer. You can look at the computer, you see what the computer tells you, you see the bottom line, and it's obvious. You can't argue with the bottom line. Hence, the decision-making power has been given to the computer, and has been taken away from human beings. Now, the reason I noticed this was because I was seeing decisions made that were not good for human beings. You know what? The computer doesn't breathe air, so the computer doesn't care about the air pollution. The computer does not drink water, so the computer does not care about polluting the water. But that does not, even though the computer's decision cannot be argued with, that does not mean that the computer's decision is a good decision. Okay? Now, like I say, I've been watching this for years, and I finally watched it into where we're at now. And I suddenly realized that it's part of the same process. We have banks that took on predatory loan practices, and we have people losing their houses and all kinds of things like that. Basically all in the name of making a fast buck when they made it and stuff like that. And these decisions were made by the computers. It was simple you could run the numbers, and it was very easy to see. The people let the computers tell them how to act. They run the numbers, and they say, hey, the more loans you give out, the more income comes in. For each loan that's put out, there's all these charges, and there's this and that and the other, and then they, basically, computers have no morals. Computers are not concerned with if people lose their homes. As a matter of fact, if 50% of the home owning population lose their homes and become renters, the computer can probably show that that's a more profitable situation there. than when these people owned their homes. But see, the computer is not taking into account community, and computer is not taking into account human beings, and computer is not taking into account ethics or morality or human suffering or anything like that. Computer is only taking into account bottom line. And if we follow bottom line and let the computer tell us what to do, yeah, we can show more profit. As a matter of fact, we've shown so much darn profit, we're all almost bankrupt. And is that because, except of course, perhaps for the very rich. Now, it is possible that the very rich own more and a larger percentage than they ever have, and are making money hand over fist in a fashion that they never have because they didn't have the efficiency of the tool of the computer. That kind of efficiency has never been known to control such a large mass of people so precisely as they're able to now with computers. And so those that would make their fortune and prey off of the population can do so effectively now, like has never been done before in history. And they can take their winnings, if you will, and leave the country. Whatever country can provide their services for them at the lowest rate and will be used to do so, and whatever country they choose to harvest it will be done. And that's the way things are happening, and that's because human beings are not, or at least very few human beings are making the decisions. I highly suspect that no human beings are making the decisions. The decisions are so, so detrimental to all human beings that it appears to me that some force from outside of our planet must be making these decisions, because who would want to pollute the atmosphere that their own grandchildren are going to have to live in? Or do they just think that they'll have enough money to turn their mansion into a filtered air bubble? I don't know. It's really hard for me to see, unless to me it makes as much sense that some alien influence is making the decisions in order to turn our atmosphere into their atmosphere, or to turn our atmosphere into some atmosphere that is not healthy enough for us to be any kind of threat to them, should they want to use our planet for some other use than raising human beings on. Anyway, I can't speak definitively on this right now, because it's pretty far out, and I don't really have either enough information or haven't correlated enough. Perhaps I need a computer program to help me figure that one out. But the bottom line is that computers have made a lot of the decisions, and the human beings have been taken out of the mix. Now, along with that rant, I have to say that the what's going on in politics is goes along hand in hand right with all of that, and even the fact that they've geared up the primaries so much earlier this year has served as a total smokescreen, or a total distraction, if you will, from taking care of the business that truly needs to be taken care of, which is the business of impeaching the regime that's in power and getting them out. And they have secured their position to the end of their term by bringing on the impression, the next regime is going to come in and save everybody, and also look at this, And don't look at us. Don't look at how much damage we can do now, from now, even now, until the end of our term, with no obstacles in our way and no accountability on our part. We can absolutely destroy the economy and destroy the American way of life, and make a tidy profit for ourselves and our friends in the process. Apparently seems to be what's going on, and then do we think that, let's say, the Democrats, whoever the next regime who comes into power, all the power that the executive branch has taken to itself and all, you think the next president is going to go, oh, well, that just wasn't right, I want to give it all back? Why, no, I don't believe that they're going to make motions to give it all back. They're going to want to use it too. That makes the presidency that much more appealing, doesn't it? And on it goes. When that much power is given to the executive branch, there's going to be trouble. It's going to be misused. That's why there were checks and balances. And we had far from a perfect system to start with. But I thought we were doing pretty darn good. And there's been problems all along, and there's been crooks in office, and there were robber barons back before the Depression that caused the Depression. But it's all come back, and it seems to have come back with possibly an uglier face than it ever had. And I've talked with older people that are, believe it or not, there are people out there that are older than I am, and they've seen more than I have. And I ask them, has it ever been this way before? Have you ever seen this kind of regime? And they say, no, it has never been this way.
An exciting experience I would never forget. I was suddenly aware of every small detail in the room. My senses increased 1,000-fold. For the first time, I began to see things I had never noticed before. I began to float up and away from my body, as my brain seemed to be held in the grip of a giant vice. My temples were pounding. Everything around me became suddenly unreal, as if in a dream. I was completely paralyzed.
All right, yes, indeed. Here we are, and I guess I'll leave a little right in there, just softly in the background. The tea is ready. Hey, the tea is ready. And guess what? We have ginger lemon creams that Judson, and I guess I should say also Robert Casey Waters sent for us today. And they're yummy. And there's other people in the building that I expect to come to tea. And do you think they're coming to tea? Why, no. They're sitting back in the other room, just talking to hear themselves, I figure, instead of sitting in here and talking. And I'm going to go get somebody and bring them back. Tea's ready. Disco music in the background, but now you want to. Which microphone do you want? The little flat one? Maybe slide that around towards you so you could. Yeah, there you go. That's probably good enough.
Yeah.
You know, talk to me. Let me see.
Hello. I'm Duncan.
You Dunk. You to talk to me some more. Say hello.
Hello.
Oh, you're good.
Is it working?
Oh yeah, it's working great.
Good deal.
Yeah, it sounds so natural I can't even tell it was coming over the microphone. And how do you like these?
I like them a lot.
Ginger lemon creams. Aren't they? They're good, aren't they?
Ginger's wonderful. Ginger really wakes you up.
Judson sent these to us.
Pretty cold. It's raining out, I think. It's getting colder. On this fine Thursday. Who'd you have on your 420 roll?
I had the chicken resurrection again.
All right. Did you install your sound box? Your last time I hear you had the big box, and you were messing with the wires.
Yeah, not exactly.
No.
It's still in progress.
Yeah.
And I didn't bring it in today. Actually, it's in one. I've gone back to a smaller box, same brand but a different model. And I don't know if I have any cream. I don't think I do. So, turns out I didn't put out all the
props.
Yeah, the props. So I thought I would.
Oh, you're set up.
Here's the one I was after that made me remember it was this. Okay. Because you see this cup here, which is my teacup, I had all the spoons in it, right? and I want to get the spoons out of it so that I can put tea in it. And I've decided we've been informed that not only is this stuff right here
Bad for you.
bad for you, yes,
Oh yeah.
but that apparently the majority of the company, or certainly a major portion of it, is either owned by Cheney or Rumsfeld or somebody like that.
The sugar company?
No, the does not use the name of
Right.
the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But make that, the people who make that chemical.
Oh, okay.
See what I mean? Well, hey there. Will you be speaking?
Maybe.
Huh?
Maybe.
Because I'm going to turn your mic up if you're going to speak.
Okay.
Now your mic is turned up.
Yay. Microphones for me.
This would be a good name for a band, huh?
I can't
Pretty
tell.
psychedelic.
Psychedelic.
The phenol Cleccatornics.
Yeah.
Well, I can't even.
If
Yeah.
you can't pronounce it, it probably wouldn't be a good name for a band.
PHENYLE.
And you probably shouldn't
Well,
use it.
there's instructions in the Neubauten, and I can't pronounce that.
There's what?
Instructions in the Neubauten. I don't know how to pronounce it. That's what I always say. And then people, and then people who know always fuss at me and go, "That's not the way you say it." Now Jonathan's leaving. I'm gonna turn his mic off. There.
I noticed the sound's a lot better with the multiple mics, even when the music came in.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
We're working on it. We're working on it on all ends. You
All
may,
ends.
yeah. There is something I want to. Let me do this, okay? I'm gonna turn. We're gonna listen to a little Bach.
Going out for a walk.
Hang on. Let me see what I got this.
You can come too, Jonathan, if you want. Is that what?
Somebody's got to be on the seat.
Don't have to.
Run the 420 rule.
Well, you did
I
that.
don't think there is one.
Okay. Well, here you can have Mike. Those two. Don't drink my tea. Drink your own. Yes. Okay.
Now I can curse, right?
Yes, that's right. It's a takeover. We are not listening to that. If I'm taking over, I'm taking over fully. How about them apples? It's a takeover. Yeah, man. What's up, my peoples? It's a takeover. I'm your host of the Tea Party this evening. DJ 419, awake way before he's supposed to be. The sun is even out. I'm not supposed to be awake until the sun goes down. Because that's when we do the Hot Minute Show. Oh, good, they're locked out. So if you're feeling froggy on Sunday evenings, you can always check out theblueecho.com at 7 p.m. I was going to read the Lucky Boy.
Yeah, read.
I was going to read the ingredients on a...
If you go back over to your seat now, I will give you I will turn your mic up. You can put
theblueecho.com, Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Or check out MySpace/The Hot Minute Show.
That's it, one. Wait a minute, the Blue Echo.
Mm-hmm.
Is that your show?
Yep.
Wait a minute. The Blue Echo is that's the station, right? Okay, I'm on it.
That you can get.
Okay. Now wait a minute. All right. Okay. Now I'm going to turn your mic up. Okay. There you go.
Soon to be
Here.
a TV show
Here.
on your TV.
I'll come film it.
Now I'm going to give you also.
I already got my camera operators. What I really need is an editor.
A free one.
I'll pay for an editor.
A free editor. That's hard to find.
I just said I will pay for an editor. That's not a free editor.
I know. I'm just saying it's hard to find a free editor.
How often you need editing?
It is very hard to find a free editor.
How often you need editing?
Every day of my life. I have a backlog of 70 hours of video I'd like to put on the channel.
Okay. And what is it? For every hour of video, it's
Did you have
24 hours of editing.
For every hour, if you're
What's
lucky,
the ratio?
it depends on.
I know my ratio to get a 30-second piece was 4 days.
That's not
narrowing it down.
In that case, I can't pay your rate.
Yeah. Did I just out myself of a job?
I need somebody a little more efficient.
That's right. That's what I'm talking about.
You need some guerrilla editing.
Well, that's been my problem. Is like I'm relearning the software as I'm editing, so it's taking a lot longer than it should.
Aren't we all constantly relearning? I mean, that's all you do is relearn the software as you know. Unless that's what you sit and do all day long, 24 hours a day, which is quite feasible considering how long it takes. You know, I mean.
Yep. Well, I was up till 2 in the morning last night editing my intro.
Your intro.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's almost done.
And all I had to do was
and
say
how
his
long
name.
does and how long does the intro last?
30 seconds.
30 second
30
intro.
seconds, and I've been working on it for 3 weeks.
And how many hours do you think you have into this 30-second thing now?
I would say anywhere between 20 and 30 hours.
Uh-huh.
Hello. That's weird. No, I sent it at 5 or whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
I just sent it now.
I'm out. A picture.
Huh? Oh, because you're out of the picture.
5:30
I'm out of the
now.
picture.
Well, I thought Jonathan was going to read the condoms.
I could be out.
Well, why don't you get here and then I'll go.
One.
All right.
I'll have to move
Wait a minute.
this way.
Wait a minute. This is okay.
Yeah,
There
that's
you go.
better. I'll be the
All
corner. I like that.
Okay. There you go.
I think I had the job fair today.
The job you had it today.
At AB Tech, we had the hospitality job fair. It went very well.
Yeah, tell us about it. Is it over or is it?
It's over. It was today from 9 o'clock in the morning to noon, and then interviews from 1 to 2.
And how many
we had
people showed
We
up?
had over 30 recruiters, and I think about 300 people showed up between students, members of the community, and getting jobs. So
Okay,
it was really
30 recruiters and 300 people. So that's 10 people per recruiter.
I guess so, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
that's actually a really good ratio.
Great ratio.
That's a really good ratio. Hey,
My
John.
favorite story was I helped a woman and a gentleman get out of their car with 2 kids in the stroller and helped them in, and they went to the job fair. So we reached the community, we reached the students, we reached the colleges that came, we reached high schools that came. We had 7 high schools come by and did tours.
Yeah.
You're cold.
That story, these people came from the community looking for a job in restaurants and hotels,
Actually,
and they
got a
came
question
to our
for you.
college and came to the job
That
fair. And I think they got a
duplication
job. I
trip
think
that
I saw them wheeling
Matt needs your
around.
help to do.
How about the students? Did the students seem to fare well?
I spoke to all the recruiters, and they were happy. They each got
what?
a stack of resumes. They were happy with the response. A lot of contacts. So
Can't do that.
A lot of
went well.
a lot of recruiters saying we'll probably be back next time.
Oh yeah,
An entire row.
definitely. They were very happy. They were very happy.
They say this is one of the best
And,
one of these kind of events
And
we've
I
been
got
to.
I got to meet the lieutenant governor
And you put it in
Uh-huh.
the
and
middle
the president of the college, and
there's
then I
a way
went
of
on a
using
college
the,
tour with other students and an
network so you can
entourage.
duplicate it. Can't do that.
And I got to bring
He's
the
never-
lieutenant
no one's ever
governor
done
to
that.
the job fair and
Well,
talk
Matt
about
seems
the
to
hospitality
think that he's
industry
done it.
and the importance.
He
of
must
the
be
job
confused
fair
about
and
what
the
actually
real-
happened.
in the
Okay,
community and
what-
providing
What
employment.
usually actually happens.
All right. Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
He started with one
I was
DD, he
like,
got 5 DD.
But
Right. So
Okay.
like,
So that was
so if
today.
you have something
If
coming
he
up,
did
in
that,
the-
I don't know how he did it, and I've never seen anybody do it, and I don't know how he would have done it.
What did he do? Who did it?
Matt Howard is saying that he put a disk in one computer and had all computers up there burning disks for him, and I don't think he
Through
did
the
that.
network?
I don't think he did that. Yeah.
Okay.
You can't network without the right key.
Yeah, I don't think he did
Well, I
that.
know that he had to get the key from you to do it.
No, he didn't get anything from me like that.
Oh, okay.
All right. So
Well, good.
so
Maybe
do
we have a
you?
security breach.
Another major fracture reality.
So did it? Would you say that do you feel like now that you've made a
Contribution to the community?
or that you've made I was going to say a connection with the, what did you call him, the lieutenant governor?
Oh no, I just was fortunate enough to talk to her about the job fair and the importance of hotels, restaurants in this area and what we provide. That it's you know.
Well, yeah, it's one of the main things. Okay, do you want to know what's going on tea wise?
It's the lowest unemployment rate.
I was wondering.
This one is steeped and ready. All right, this is really close to it, maybe. Those two are also close. Those are both floral teas. They have like jasmine and such in them. They're all excellent.
I had a rogue hair attacking.
I have four different
Tennessee.
Excellent teas. So take.
Hotels,
Oh, you got one. Did you get this one?
Yeah, I got
it
that
was
one.
fantastic.
Okay.
They had a lot of diversity and.
What were you looking for?
Milk, actually.
I don't, unless there's some in the fridge that we don't have any. I don't think there is any. I forgot to stop and get any.
There's a variety of teas today.
Yeah, four different teas that are fabulous.
What's this one?
That one is
jasmine.
No, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. How are you?
I'm that one is this one right here.
Is it supposed to be light colored, or is it not ready?
It's just started to steep, but it's that right there, and it is fabulous, Jonathan. And you see how I've put a little check on the side of the box? It's because I don't read Chinese that well, you know, and sometimes I just have to.
Good. Which ones aren't? And the labels are a lot of them are similar, close enough.
They basically
the style looks so much the same that it could be.
They often
pictures, but you'd be like, hey, I think I like that one.
They often say basically exactly the same thing on the label. You know, like they got somebody to translate something into English, and they say we're going to put this on all our tea. Right. You know.
Yeah.
Because they probably have just as much of a hard time figuring out what it says as we do, so they don't know which to put on which, and they just come up with a good generic that says, oh, this tea is very good, and after steeping long time, blah, 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 whatever, you know. Funny words. And they put it on their tea, and then they put them in a little fancy box, and each box has a different picture. If you look at it, I mean, if you look at it, that's completely different. This is like Red Rooster, or this is like Rooster tea. You know, it's a white rooster.
We'll call this one River Rock.
And
we'll call this one
Rooster.
Rooster tea.
White Leghorn. That could be White Rooster. River Rock and White Leghorn. You know. I don't know. But the River Rock is really good. It's some of the rock tea. Let's see. Hold that up. I can read some of the Chinese on the.
Hold it up. You go.
Now, that is a male chicken, correct? On there.
Mm-hmm.
That would be.
It is a male chicken.
So it would be a cock tea.
Cock tea.
So we would call multiples of those.
We have Red Rock and Cock's tea.
No. Well,
Cock tea.
Cock tea. Yes.
Well, we just have one.
Dun, dun, dun.
We just have one, so it's cock tea. We have.
It's a very cock tea.
You know, if you really wanted to get crazy about it, you could call this one skinny dip, and you know, I don't know, but it's like people out playing in the river, and that's what I put a check on. So I really can't tell you much about it except that it is a rock tea from I can tell you that it's a rock tea from Wuyi Mountain. And very, I haven't found a bad one yet. So.
Is there a variety of cock teas, or is there just the one?
Just the one that I know of. Oh, do you mean cock teas or cock teas?
I mean whatever strikes your
mind. You know.
All right, cock teas. Shall we say cock teas? There we go. See, it looks like sort of looks like a rooster in a cornfield, something like that, doesn't it?
You see how I'm still observing a lot of the rule of 33 like that.
But I am betting that those are.
We don't know if there's a variety of cock teas or not.
Well, look, show the other picture.
And this
see.
One,
okay, show this.
This one, the River Rock.
I'm betting that those are actually tea plants in the background, but I'm not sure of that. But I'm also betting that these red teas.
Well, this one here's got a tea on the other side.
There you. Okay, now that's it right there. I believe that was one of the bushes of the red robe that was being grown from where they root them. You know what I mean? From transplant. What do they call that? Where they cut off.
They graft.
I'll show the back of that. Yeah, grafts. So the back. Look at that. I think that's some variety of a red tea.
That's like a tree, man.
Well, the teas grow that well. There you go. It's
Do they
focused.
get that big? It gets like a tree. It looks like.
Well, that's probably Wuyi Mountain or some such thing, or Wuyi Valley that we're looking at there. That valley over there, if it's the right one I'm thinking of, is just an incredible amount of a variety of.
It's a pretty picture they put on there. I don't think it's anything.
All right, that can be, but I think it is. Just like this one is obviously one example of the tea plant, and I'm betting that this is also an example of a great big bunch of them growing down the mountain.
In the fall.
Okay, well that's because you live up here in the mountains and you think.
And it looks just like here in the fall.
It's just tea trees.
Well, I gotta get headed on out.
You were here very short.
I know.
I didn't let you talk.
Just a spot of tea. Yes, you did. Thanks for having me.
Gazpacho.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was wanting to check in. We're going to go over the audio sometime in the next few days.
Awesome.
I just really
with
want to say that word.
With the oscilloscope.
Reverb coming for the bands.
Yeah.
I showed that fashion show to the designer.
Come on in.
She wasn't happy with it.
Right. Every time you're in the area, check that out.
Yeah, okay.
Just check it. The ego,
I will.
right?
It's just,
Hey, can I get the
you
raw
brought it to
footage
my
like it?
attention, and I've just thought it very curious.
Someone else edit it. Yeah, thanks. It's like, ouch.
Have a seat.
Could take Joe's spot, or is he coming back?
No, he's not coming back. Either you could take his place, or you could sit over here by Jonathan, and we
He's never coming back.
Yeah, he is. Sometime, but just not. Just not today.
Yeah.
That's good. You're working that mic very well.
More spooky voice.
All right.
This is more of a crunchy mic, right?
Have you tried one of these?
Yeah, I tried them. They're good. I like them. Actually, I'm trying to share and also be ready to go on my dinner break, so I don't want to fill up on cookies.
All right.
It's cookie time.
How about it? What's up? Let's get a Casey Waters report here. We're gonna slide in. This way you'll be more on camera.
We'll get you get in a little tighter there. There I am.
Cup for you.
Yeah, thank you, Jonathan.
You're welcome.
Let's see if I can pour you some tea without
really
spilling
good.
it like I did
Although
mine.
I don't know what they taste like because I put 2 things of sugar in each cup. So.
Oh, okay. There's a
They're all
sweet
good,
tea. All right.
Here it is, the Casey Waters report.
So with the Casey Waters report, my update is it is coming up for another show. I'm going to film in a couple of short days on Saturday afternoon is what I project. So that means I need to get organized. So we have a couple of directions the next show is going to go in. Okay, the quick update, possible, slight chance that Judson might do an interview with me, and we might talk about his artistic techniques and maybe other things, and he might draw for us on camera.
Is he the art partner you have with the show?
Exactly. Judson's my partner, and he does the artwork and the graphic artwork of the show, and occasionally helps me come up with ideas for the show as well. Sometimes he does a little bit of the camera. I do most of the camera, like the background filming of footage, of scenery and stuff, and then I do most of the writing and most of the editing outside the graphic artwork itself, putting the show together. As far as segments go. But anyway, so my alternative, which is my main plan for this show, is to do another book review, and this book is called I think it's Subjectivity and Reality. It's written by David Hawkins, PhD, and he's a psychiatrist from New York City, and he's well noted, and his book is basically about spirituality and enlightenment, and a lot of it is drawn from his personal experience. I'm just plowing through the preface so far, and because I got the book last week actually, but busy me, I've been doing everything else, and procrastination sets in, and
procrastination.
but the preface, I'm like highlighting all these passages, and it almost seems continuous. I mean, as far as relevancy goes, and what it is, for instance, I'll give you a little brief description from the preface, and he was talking about an incident when he was younger and growing up. I think it was in Wisconsin or somewhere up north, Minnesota, one of those northern states, and he had a paper route of 17 miles out in the country.
Okay, did he run it by car?
No, I think he ran it by bicycle.
Okay. I ran my paper route by bicycle or by foot, but it was not 17 miles. I had 2 paper routes when I was young.
Okay.
So I relate to paper routes.
I never done it before, but I imagine 17 miles sounds pretty grueling. So
no, it does.
And he was doing it on bicycle. And the problem was it was in the winter and a blizzard set in. And the high winds, and that's exactly what happened.
No this week.
The heavy snow and the high winds kicked up and blew. I think he wrecked on the icy roads, right? He lost his traction, wrecked. And then the papers blew everywhere across this giant field, and he was totally frustrated, totally cold. It was like wind chill 20 below zero or more. It was probably around 0 or below 0 already, the actual temperature. And so what he did is he found a high snowbank, I guess, where the snow really drifted up a bunch, against the hill, maybe on the road or something. And he said he punched through the icy crust, and he just carved out this little snow cave, a little snow hole. And he got in there, and he got all snuggled up in there, and he was all frustrated, but he said what happened is he got warm and relaxed, and all that frustration melted away, and everything melted away, and he became united with the one great being of God or whatever, and he realized that everybody was united with this phenomenon, and there really was no such thing as separate identity or time and space or any of that, or these newspapers he was delivering or whatever it was. So he was just hiding there in a blissful state, and then finally his father came to rescue him, and he says that's how he was pulled out of it. Literally, he said his father reached in and pulled him out, and then he woke up from this wonderful state. But anyway, that's a little clip, which I'll probably have again on the show, but there's just one little part from this book, and it just goes on and on and on.
It seems like there's a possibility maybe his brain was freezing.
Wow. Oh yeah, and well, there's two. I'm glad you brought that up, because this is a divergent story here, and this has to deal with hypothermia safety, which Alaskans are pretty well versed in from stories about what it's like. Okay, what he actually did was the wisest thing to do, probably.
Right, yeah. Tunnel into the sun
and hide in there and remain still. And
he made a quick igloo, didn't he?
He made a quick igloo, and a survivor that I met back in Anchorage at a bar, he claimed to have survived, I think it was 6 days or something like that, doing that out on an island, off of Prince William Sound, because he got stranded in a boat or something weird like that happened in the winter. It was just horrible, and he barely made it, but that's how he did it. But the other thing why I said it diverges, okay, that's the safe thing to do, and you're all warm and you feel good. Well, because you actually are warm, because the snow actually provides good insulation. But let's say you didn't do that, and you were outside, and it really was cold, and you felt warm. Usually by then you would be, your mind would be failing, and your judgment would be failing at the same time. So you might be confused, disoriented, and feeling warm, and that's usually the worst conditions, because that really means you actually have hypothermia, and it's really kicking in. What typically happens then is people will get so warm they actually strip off their clothes because they're so hot, and then they die.
Right.
And then they'll be half naked or whatever.
They
dead
think
in the
they're
snow.
warm, but they are not.
But they're not
warm.
warm, and that's like the final stages of it. So you get like confusion and disorientation, and then finally this feeling of warmth when you're not really warm.
Well, there's a weird boundary that happens like between like extreme hot and extreme cold. I don't know if you've ever like drawn a bath or a shower and the water's too hot, and you check it and it almost feels like it's so hot it almost feels cold at first. So I'm wondering if it's like the same kind of sensory like overload or
It
confusion.
might be.
You know what I mean? Like because it's like so hot and it feels like cold at first, and it's like, oh, it's not cold, it's hot.
And there's something else going on.
That just
which
happens
is,
to you, John.
Okay.
No. What he's talking about is sometimes with me the water actually is mixed and is hot and cold, literally mixed in the shower head because of the way the plumbing is and low water pressure and whatnot. But there's another phenomenon. I probably brought this up a couple of times on the show in the past, but gee, it's such an amazing story. And this has to do with hypothermia too. And this is common. This is like a common Alaskan story almost. It's in Bethel, which is a town in southwest Alaska, probably 10,000 or so people, I guess. And what happened was on Christmas Eve, and they were going to go to another nearby town. Or maybe they were outside of Bethel in a little town. They're going to another little town. But they got all these little towns scattered throughout there. Most of them, either you have to get to by an airplane, and there'll be a little airstrip. A lot more along rivers. There's a lot of rivers in that region of the state, and you can have river access. Or you have to use like an ATV type vehicle, and there'll be trails.
It's a long way between little towns in Alaska, isn't it?
In that region, let's say maybe 20 miles, I'm guessing. It depends, probably maybe even 100 or 200, or maybe even 20 or less. There's a great variation to it. But anyway, I don't think they were really going that far. If I remember right, it's probably only like 20 miles or something like that. Or maybe even 15 or less. But anyway, they were out in this blizzard in their snowmobile, and I guess they stopped off, to take a break and drink or whatever. They were drinking, and that's probably the thing. A lot of these towns are dry, which means you can't drink at all.
Between them, right?
Yeah. So, and they're not going to catch you in the middle of nowhere. Well, that's the problem. You're in the middle.
You just keep right on going.
And and you just keep going. But anyway, they got drunk. And the blizzard got to them, and they basically died of hypothermia. But the tale of their death is very amazing after this point. First of all, oops. Hey, you want to come in?
Well, I just need to ask a question. Is there a Final Cut Pro manual somewhere?
Yes.
Anyway.
How do you make this, or do you know how to make it picky? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I have 4 pots of each a different. Very good to eat, extraordinary tea in every pot.
Well, yeah, come back.
And we have these cookies that are really good. Okay, so what happened? This is the story of their hypothermia.
Yeah, so first of all, they found their snow machines, didn't find their bodies. And then, like, over a period of a few days or weeks thereafter, there was these weird stories that they saw them, out there, I think there were 2 or 3 people, and they might have saw them one at a time, but in like weird situations, like maybe running very fast, or maybe lifting like this huge heavy piece of snow that there's no way they could lift.
They ate someone, became Wendigos, didn't they?
It's like they became a ghost form, is what the native legends explain it at, and that's what they were seeing. They said, in a sense, and this was in the paper, is where I read it from the Anchorage Daily News. They said that according to the legend that people could, like, when under these weird conditions of hypothermia, there's a chance that you could almost split up. And what happens is you have one into your various spirit selves, but one of your spirit selves is apparently like super light and almost ghost-like, but incredibly strong, and could do all these fantastic feats or whatever. And that's one of them that they were seeing, but there's like 2 or 3 parts or 3 or 4 parts to you when you die, and one of them might be the material body, and then there might be like 3 spirits or whatever, or something like that. And I just find that
and this
fascinating.
story was corroborated by multiple witnesses.
Yeah, it was, I think, at least 2 witnesses involved, if I remember right, and that's why they. Not who maybe saw the person at the same time. It might have been 2 people who saw different people or the same person at different times. I'm a little hazy.
Coming back with strange tales.
With these really strange tales, but it wasn't just one person. It was at least 2 people who saw these people were lost on separate incidences, and so it's just a weird story.
Well, I just wanted to make an announcement that tonight. Rat Jackson is on Mount Dungeon.
Really?
And Ben called me and told me that they were giving the Asheville Brewing Company another chance.
Really?
Trying to get it up on the big screen outside, so.
I don't. Well, whatever. Yeah, okay.
Just letting y'all know.
And I just like to.
And y'all out there.
Announce you this may be a very interesting episode because I was with Megan when she was looking at and deciding how to put behind there.
Mm-hmm.
She does not approve of all of your songs.
Doesn't approve of them.
Does not approve of them. Some of them are, according to her, somewhat misogynistic.
They're definitely misogynistic.
Prepare for bodybuilders.
What?
Bodybuilders.
Bodybuilders?
Yes.
Oh, I've already seen the episode.
Oh, okay.
It looked good. I mean, I was really happy with the backgrounds she put in there.
Okay, so she always does a good job.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're very like.
But did she make fun of them? Is that what she did?
She was intending to. I don't.
No, I mean she put most of them were pretty appropriate.
Y'all can handle somebody making fun of you though, can't you? Y'all go along with just about anything. Don't
we
you?
make fun of ourselves. That's the idea.
Yeah. So that's good. That's good.
Poor guys like us singing about the stuff we sing about.
I noticed, John, that when you tasted that tea, you looked at it somewhat suspiciously, and I know you poured the jasmine tea.
Yes.
In there. Is it the first time you've had jasmine?
Well, I don't think it's the first time I had jasmine. It's just that I am an utter sugar file, and I didn't put sugar in the first time, so I was trying
I always recommend 1 lump of sugar in a full cup of jasmine. It really brings it to life. So you might want to put more in there. Yeah, but that's what I think is perfect. I think a lump of sugar really brings the flower taste to life.
On the subject of tea, I would just like to mention that this is a great tea party.
Thank you.
But when it's not Thursday and Friday, there is another great tea party to be had.
I see.
At Vintage Moon.
Vintage Moon?
Vintage Moon.
Tell us what that is.
It's a vintage clothing store boutique. What's that street behind Patton where Hookah Joe's used to be?
Cox?
Is that Cox?
No, I think that's on
Commerce Street. Yes, it's on Commerce Street.
Oh, is it where the cereal restaurant used to be?
Yes, right by where the cereal restaurant used to be.
80s.
Is it in the same place where Hookah Joe's used to be? No, it's
on the other side.
On the other side.
Yes, it's like two doors down.
2 doors down.
Vintage Moon. She has her own creation there as well, and she serves tea with these.
Who is she? Do you know her?
She is Gigi. She's the proprietress of Vintage Moon, and she serves tea there, and she will do a high tea if you arrange it 24 hours in advance.
How high?
Pretty darn high from what I saw the chairs there.
I see.
Well, there are chairs that cannot be made by sober people. But it's very good tea, and the snacks, well, actually the desserts are delicious. Mm-hmm. So if it's not Thursday or Friday, I recommend going down to Vintage Moon to have a lovely spot of tea.
Wow. I'll have to go in and speak with her. Right.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know. Maybe could we get you to take Jonathan's spot? John, could we?
Oh, yes.
See, because you're off camera. And there's no way
that's right.
No way
I like being a disembodied voice, but okay.
Apparently, the way I've set the cameras, but if you take this seat over here, you'll be on camera for sure. and slide that one up there, and that can still be Jonathan's if he comes back, and he'll still be on. I'm just trying to figure out how to get everybody on camera.
Yeah.
And I'm having a hard time doing it. That chair just didn't wind up on any camera.
I had the same problem with filming an episode.
Yeah.
I've got an entire third of episode with a disembodied voice talking to me.
Right, which you have been throughout this episode so far.
Oh yes, that was. But it was actually better doing that way because I could make fun of that, like intercut pictures of him when he's supposed to be talking. Say he's supposed to be on camera, but I didn't get him on camera. Stuff like that.
Every now and then, though, you can look right at that camera and say something most profound. If you have profundity, look straight at there and give it.
There's this urge to say something utterly absurd as profound. I have this idea at some point in the future organizing regular like steampunk socials there, having people come in, period costumes and stuff like that, drinking tea.
I think again in the steampunk arena, I would want to encourage you to encourage show and tell.
Yeah, definitely.
As you might call it a steampunk conference or a.
Well, I'm a sucker for alliteration, so I think I'd go with social.
Social. A steampunk social, though, I think should you could gather it around some form of technology or art. You see what I mean?
Definitely.
That where someone has put some effort into a creation of theirs, which would hopefully be steam powered.
Which would be interesting, since the most logical art to first go with, considering where it would be held, would be fashion. And I do think some steam-powered waistcoats would be very interesting.
Perhaps where they could just put out a little steam.
Yeah.
Now and then. Who knows?
That's right, or maybe a steam-powered belt that you could put on and it would just self-tighten and you just hit the switch or whatever.
Steam anaconda.
I see all sorts of amusing yet nightmare scenarios developing because of that.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
Look, John just split in half because his belt tightened.
The steam power anaconda belt. Yes.
It didn't stop. It kept on shrinking. Oh no.
I watched most of those. I didn't burn them, but.
Did you want to burn them?
I mean, I watched most of them.
Okay, and that's enough for you? Is that what just? Yeah. Okay, you got the
SCTV.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, hopefully these have the intro on them, that zany intro I was talking about.
That's a very zany.
Which is so well suited to you. It really is. I'm assuming you're gonna tell me when it's done. Oh yeah, I remember when that happened to me, or whatever.
I was going to say, yes, there is one steam-powered piece of fashion which is the perfect natural fit. Boots.
Steam-powered boots.
There's a product out of Russia which is basically a gas-powered super jumping boot.
Okay.
They've got these like heels underneath heels, and so you go poof, poof, poof like that. So every step takes you like 12 feet.
Wow.
Yes. So you could definitely try something like that with steam, I think. That would be interesting.
Oh, sure.
Your feet would explode. That would be interesting.
You would have to have a very small steam generator.
Very
small, very compact. It might be possible. And one of the things I was thinking also along steam technology, which also might have involved it, or something similar to it at least, was Tesla's device to bring down buildings. If I remember right, it was relatively simple in design. Of course, I don't know what the design is.
It was some sort of vibration device?
Exactly. It was the size of a brick, he said, if I remember right. And you literally attach it to a building, and it was a vibration device, and it would like tune into like the building's natural frequency to do the most damage,
right?
And would create resonance waves and literally bring it down. It might like take 20 minutes or something, I guess, but it's basically a demolition device,
which is very cool.
Which is actually kind of cool, and there might be other applications from that technology or whatever, and it's just it's just kind of weird that that technology is not used. It almost seems like it would be a lot safer than, say, standard explosives.
Well,
because they might have less chance of fragments shooting out far away from the building, let's say, and also it might even be able to be used in road work or whatever. Who knows what it would do with the earth? Oh God.
Well, there's probably a very environmental aspect to it too. I mean, I can't imagine getting all these explosives, putting them in one spot and exploding them is very good for the environment.
That's what I'm thinking. If it probably could be tailored / modified, maybe that it might be able to be used for certain situations. For, let's say, blowing up a rock face or something, or chipping away at a rock face. Maybe. That's a big if.
Be little grenades. Those things.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
I think the secret to the whole thing, Tesla was very much into resonance,
and I think that's why
he was one of the I would say a pioneer of resonance.
Exactly.
He truly was. And I think the concept here was, if it was to be used for an entire building, that you would either need to calculate or measure in some form, figure the overall resonance of the structure.
Maybe you would.
Right.
You would have
and every mass would have one. You know what I mean?
That's right.
And then you create a device that injects something at that frequency of that resonance that continuously adds a little bit of energy and a little bit of energy at the resonant frequency until it always gains.
That's right.
And just by adding a little bit by using a very low power device that just gets a little bit more, and the resonance it's like pushing a swing, and it gets higher and higher and higher until the thing snaps.
I often almost think that it would be so much better if Tesla had been born in this day and age, with all the access to modern technology.
Oh yeah.
This day and age would not be this day and age without Tesla in his day and age.
But the thing is, if he was born in this day and age, Tesla would not do anything. Think about it. Tesla was a humongous nerd, probably with Asperger's syndrome. He would probably become the world's greatest World of Warcraft player if he was alive today.
What? World of Warcraft. That's what you think. Yes, right. Okay.
Well, you never know.
I'm thinking that this is a much more distracting age.
That's the thing. It's much more distracting. You got a point there, and have him in a modern environment. It's really hard to say exactly.
Yes, but this age would not be this age.
This is true.
Without the influence of Tesla in his age.
That's right.
Basically the power grid that we live under.
Yes.
That's right. Generators.
Yeah. So the efficiency of the power coming to your office and to your home is due to Tesla's insight.
I agree.
And so your technology would be way behind.
But of course, we don't use his more advanced technology of broadcasting electricity that was set up on Long Island or whatever.
A lot of his more advanced technologies are still classified.
Oh yeah, it's still classified. Now, what was it? GE, the FBI, or something went through his apartment.
Oh yeah,
probably.
Yeah, they apparently got everything. I mean, they apparently even scraped the wallpaper looking for stuff seriously hidden behind. I mean, they went literally through everything they could find and just got
what do you think this is about here? Are these people high?
Which people? Oh, the people in the back?
Yeah.
In the background.
Well, I imagine the tape has been slowed down so much.
It is slowed down.
That's what I was thinking.
It's running at half speed. It is.
Oh, that's it.
This does not discount them being high. They could still very well be high.
But it's half speed, so that it makes it a little more tricky.
Well, the man's dancing in a cowboy hat and spinning an umbrella. That is not sober activity.
Not usually.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
Right.
All right.
My head is going to explode at the end of the day today.
Really?
I've been drinking way too much caffeine.
Can I watch?
Oh.
And I gotta drink more caffeine because I gotta meet people at caffeine after this.
Really?
Yes.
Who
Well, hopefully we're meeting models.
I see.
Oh,
Hopefully we're
okay.
arranging a future episode of Pleasure Saucer.
Cool.
Hopefully. Many things to hope for.
All right, that would be nice. All right.
We are planning to do a music video for Ben's Soul Band, which I think is going to be pretty
Right.
cool. Yeah.
Are they going to do I'm a soul man?
No. It's some standard She Broke My Heart and Done Me Wrong song.
Okay.
So I think the premise is going to be that all the band is at a bar, drowning their sorrows, and Ben's the bartender.
Yeah.
So they're all going, and Ben's singing, "Oh, she done me wrong," as he cleans glasses and stuff like that. I think it'd be pretty fun.
What bar?
I don't know yet. We're thinking maybe the new French bar.
I see.
It has the right dimensions.
Okay.
That'd be interesting.
Okay. I can make some recommendations. I don't know what it's called now. What used to be Gadsby's has a nice bar.
That's on Lexington, isn't it?
It's just off Lexington, around the corner.
Okay.
And I can't tell you. I've not known its name really since it used to be Gadsby's. Okay. But the bar in there is nice. It's a lot of woodwork and stuff. Looks nice.
That may be is it like going up towards Pack Place and all that?
It's on Walnut Street. Hold it.
If you go up Lexington and then you turn so that you can go over
towards Broadway.
The Mellow Mushroom, like if you were going to the Mellow Mushroom.
That way.
Okay. It would be on your left on your way to the Mellow Mushroom.
Okay, yes, I believe that was.
And there's a nice.
Probably can't use that one. We could probably, when it was a lesbian bar.
Probably some nice light coming in from the window and everything for the lighting.
Evidently, it's not become a frat bar, but I'll check that one out.
Okay. And there are several nice bars.
Yes, there are several nice bars. We are awash with nice bars in Nashville.
But that seems to be that's what comes to my mind for ornate, nice bar for a bartender to be behind. I think, so.
You know what Urtv needs?
A bar?
Well, yes. And many other things.
A troll bar. URTV should install a troll bar. A troll bar.
It just hit me.
What?
A bar at URTV is not necessarily such a far-fetched idea. For instance,
leave it to Casey Waters.
Way back when, in my college days, right, at Withers Hall, which had Department of Marine, Earth, and Atmospheric Sciences, they were all lumped together as one.
Mm-hmm.
They had, I think it was only once a month, but still, beer in the basement. They would actually bring in like a keg and a trash can and set it up in the basement. And it was like 3:30 in the afternoon, and I think it was the Graduate Student Association put it on, and so it was basically graduate students, but they were only like 2 or 3 years older than me, and so. And I would just kind of drift in
and drink their beer.
And drink their beer. Maybe you might have to pay. Maybe I had to pay like $3 to get in. I forgot.
But you could drink beer all afternoon for $3. That's not
exactly.
bad.
And you would just hang out. And the thing is, people would be in the laboratory next door doing their lab class.
Right.
While you're drinking beer in the hallway. So I'm like, well, gee, if such a scenario could exist there, could it exist here?
Well, we may have come up with a good idea of what to do with the spare editing suite.
We just. But
you might want to go to the
in terms of fundraising activity.
You might want to bring that up at the board meeting. You might want to get on the agenda there.
We'll have to label it like the inspiration room or something.
Yeah,
like that.
because and then it would be a good idea because you take all the income and then use it for fundraising for URTV, and thus it would make sense. But anyway.
Well, I think one thing.
Well, wait a minute. Was it you telling about the tea at the say the name of the place? There were
Vintage Moon.
Huh?
Vintage Moon.
Vintage Moon, and it's a clothing store.
It's a vintage clothing boutique. Now she also sells original creations there, but the majority of it is vintage clothing.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's okay.
Very ornate place.
Very okay.
And she serves tea.
Yes.
And does she charge to serve tea?
I believe there is a small charge for serving tea. I'm not. Okay. I get free tea because I was filming an episode with her. So.
I see.
Oh, okay. But yeah, for a nominal fee, sure.
Yes. But one thing that URTV needs is tracks.
tracks.
Yeah, so you can do tracking shots. You can like put the tripod on, and you can like move it. So
You want to build it? You want to build tracks?
I'd love to build it if I knew how to build.
I do. If you knew how to build.
I'm not saying I'm completely useless with a hammer, but I'm not the greatest man with a hammer.
There's not a whole lot of hammering in the building of tracks, but there is quite a bit of screwing.
Then I'm your man.
Okay.
Come on, how can you resist a line like that?
I knew you would. I knew you would. I knew you were going to go for that one.
All right.
But so how would you do that? Just get like two.
Okay. The nicest set I saw, and by nicest I mean these are homemades.
Right.
Okay, and you can make them, and they worked well, and they're easy. Okay. At the garden shop, you get what are basically fence posts.
Okay.
Which are round pipes. Okay. And then the end of one of them is like shrunk up a little bit so they stick in, so you can stick these things together.
Right.
You see what I mean? They're just fence posts. And yes, and they're just round pipes and they stick together. That's all they are. So then you get you get as many of those as you need for your run. These become your track.
Okay.
Okay. And I think they already have pre-drilled holes in them where you can put things. So basically, what you do is you decide what your width of the track you want to be, and you cut boards to that width, and then you put screws into your pipes.
Right.
You see what I mean? And so you make the equivalent of like a railroad track has ties.
Right.
You make your ties just out of a piece of board with a couple of screws going up into each pipe. So a couple of boards and a couple of screws into each of the pipes makes what looks like a ladder with a couple of steps on it.
Right.
That's all. And two pipes. And so you make as many lengths of those as you need for the run that you need. And like 2 lengths of that's a pretty good run. 3 or 4 lengths is really a good run of that stuff, because I don't know if these are 4. If they're 4, I think they're like 4 feet long. I'm guessing 4, maybe even 5 feet long.
The longer the better in theory.
If they're 4 feet long, 2 of them's an 8-foot run.
Right.
You know, and it doesn't take many till you've got a pretty long run, and they slip right together. Okay, then you need to build the dolly.
Right.
That rides on these, and this is the point. The point of these is that they are very smooth. These are round pipes, and they're very smooth. So to build the dolly that the wheels go on, you use a big piece of plywood.
Right.
A big, heavy, solid piece of plywood. You can reinforce it with 2x4s or something if you wanted to, but a good, solid piece of plywood. It doesn't have to be real big because the camera and stuff is not
just big enough to fit the tripod on, basically.
Really, or whatever kind of camera stand you want to attach to it. You know. Okay. Then you on the bottom of that you take a piece of angle iron. And you just chop the angle iron up into little short pieces. Okay. So you've got a piece. You know, they're 90 degrees like that, and you attach that to the bottom of the board this way. So you've got an angle iron attached this way, and you drill a hole in each one sticking out that way, and you put a bolt through those sticking out that way. So now you've got 2 bolts coming out this way, and on them you put skateboard wheels.
Right.
And the skateboard wheels are now pointed in this way, and they roll along the top of the pipes.
Right.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
And the thing is very smooth, and you just put a rope on one end of it, or whatever kind of handle, or push or a pull that you want on it. Maybe a little push on one end and a little pull for the other end.
Right.
You know, and a mount, and you lay your tracks.
Okay.
And you've got dolly. But now that's not bad. And look at the price of that. You're going to be getting 8 skateboard wheels, one length of angle iron. No.
Maybe $75 for the entire thing, if that.
If that.
Yeah, that's probably about right.
Might come in for under 50.
Yeah.
Maybe even for under 50.
You know,
what you want to get good materials. You
kind of depends on how long your run. The run.
You
know, if you're wanting to make a 40-foot run or something, you know. But the biggest expense is probably going to be the the length of track if you're going for a long length of track, and that's still going to be dirt cheap.
Yeah.
It's still maybe it would be $75 for a really long length or something like that.
I know so many things I could use that for.
Do you see?
Oh yeah.
And I'll be glad to help you.
I appreciate
with that. But things will be needed. Drills and bolts and
I need
things.
tools. I'm a man. I need tools of some sort.
Well, now who do we know? Who is among us who's right handy as a carpenter and metal worker and such like that could help us with this? Because I can show them the design. I just really don't. I'm not a great carpenter, nor am I real inclined to want to get real active and build this thing right now.
I don't know that many handy people.
But I've observed one on it. They used one that was built that way on a video shoot that I did the audio on some time back, which is was a really classy shoot, and I was surprised that the videographers that came that was the rig they built, and it was because it was very light, very portable. These pipes are very thin, they're very light, and it's all very portable.
Right, they don't need to support any weight really, just.
And if you want to pull it apart, it could easily support if someone wanted to ride on, I think the dolly was large enough that someone could ride on it and hold the camera if they wanted to be making some moves, or they could walk beside it and make moves or whatever, But they would probably be smoother riding on it, but I don't think it's necessarily intended for that.
I'm thinking maybe walking alongside of the camera, or using ropes. But if someone has to be with the camera, maybe walking along it.
But there's other things you can do. You can get more and more complex, and you can have a wheel that rolls on the track that is a drive wheel that doesn't drive the thing, but it drives off the track, and you can have a wheel that drives off the track and runs some form of a pulley or something like that, and you can have little strings and things that run up and do things like as the thing progresses down the track, it moves the camera on its track, or different things like that.
That'd be interesting.
You can even gear that stuff down. You can gear that stuff down so that it even adjusts the focus as it comes closer.
That would be very complicated too.
That all becomes very complicated, but it's all within the grasps of possibility,
Oh, speaking of movie news, did you hear that Tom Savini is going to be speaking at UNCA?
No.
Well, it's very cool. Tom Savini is going to be speaking at UNCA, I think the 12th.
Okay, well, tell us who is Tom Savini.
Tom Savini is the guy who has done the makeup for nearly every great horror movie in the last, I would say, 20 years.
And here I was, I was going to guess he had something to do with science fiction.
Well, obviously a lot of them were science fiction movies, yes. But he's also an actor in his own right. He was in Planet Terror. Did you see that one?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. He was also in...
Oh, my phone is ringing. Perhaps someone out in our audience has seen Planet Terror.
But Tom Savini, very cool guy. He's going to be doing like a talk workshop.
Do you think people call me that are watching the show? No, this person has satellite TV.
Oh, well.
Hello, since you have satellite TV, I'm sure you're not watching us at the moment, are you? Okay.
Moderate. So.
Picked up a very interesting magazine last night. It's called CHAP.
CHAP.
Yes. It's for the CHAP movement.
I'm going to let you explain it over the phone.
Bikers,
so I'm going to hold the phone up
he's
to
a
the
jolly
microphone.
old chap.
And when you hear me say, you can tell them now. They will hear whatever it is you say. Okay.
What are we doing?
Martha has an announcement which she wants me to make, but I prefer that she make it. Okay, go for it, Martha.
The war is over. It's over.
What's that?
The war is over.
And how is it that you've determined this?
Well, Justin Collins told me, and I think he's right. He said he knows it. It's over.
Okay. And how is it that he knows this?
He just knew it.
He just knew it.
It's raining in Charlotte.
Okay, and it's raining in Charlotte, and we begin again.
We can believe it. We can believe it. The war is over.
What's she talking about?
That's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
All right.
Later.
Bye.
Peace.
Okay.
She said the war is over. What was she referring to? Iraq or what?
No.
Yeah, they're supposed to say it's a miracle. Huh.
Well, if I may interpret, I will assume the interpretation to be similar to John Lennon and Yoko Ono's "War is over if you want it," or something like peace if you want it concept, or that if we all just think the war is over,
maybe it will be over.
It is over, and all of that, and that is good. But that's why I did not want to make this announcement because I did not comprehend the announcement. So there it is. It has been given. I have interpreted it as best I can. But as not wanting to, I was unprepared for that announcement of that magnitude.
Oh yeah,
I would want to have a better understanding of it than Justin called and said.
I think we could use some more war.
Okay.
If only because this peace is killing everybody.
Is it?
Well, think about it. How many people died in the war versus how many people have died since mission accomplished? Really, I think the war would save more people than
well,
peace
actually,
would.
if you look at it technically, I mean, when they declared mission accomplished like a month after the invasion, less troops died in that first month, albeit I'm sure it was very intense.
We didn't lose any troops.
Since then.
No, we didn't lose any troops until they said mission accomplished.
Oh yeah, actually you're right.
Mission accomplished. That's when we started losing our casualties.
That's right. There might have been like 6 or less. It was. Yeah, you're right. It was a very small number.
No, we had 6 captives. One was a female. But we had no loss of life.
Oh, they were captives.
The
That's what it was. It was They were captives, but no loss of life. I got confused with that.
Here, would you like a cookie?
Oh, thank you.
It wasn't until it was after mission accomplished. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Also, an interesting thing.
It's a real good cookie. Tell us how good the cookie is.
Not bad.
Isn't that a good cookie?
Yeah, some ginger lemon cream.
Very good. The interesting thing is we've lost 4,000 soldiers by combat and 6,000 soldiers by suicide.
Oh.
Is that right?
Oh.
So we have over 6,000 suicides.
Now, is that true?
Yeah.
Where did you get this? We've lost only 4,000 soldiers by combat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
true.
Yeah,
and we have lost 6,000 soldiers by suicide. You say?
According to what I was watching on Montel and a couple other shows.
I believe.
According to what?
Yeah.
Since I don't know what Montel is.
Montel Williams.
A daytime talk show.
That would not include only soldiers in active combat. It would include soldiers who went back home, I imagine.
No, yeah, we're including.
Oh, of course.
This is returning veterans from Iraq. Over 6,000 have committed suicide.
Yeah.
Okay, this is returning veterans from Iraq. So these weren't suicides in Iraq; they were suicides on our own.
Or maybe combination. Let's just say it's a combination of both suicides in Iraq, soldiers on duty, and after they return. But
that number is probably still low. How many homicides involving veterans were actually suicides?
At that time, they said something. Now, as far as actual murders committed by veterans that have come back, they figured over 125.
But no, not just committed by veterans, but committed on veterans. Because
125.
There might have been
murders,
requests or stuff like that where someone says, "Yeah, I want to die, make it look like I was attacked," or what you saying?
I mean like suicide by cop.
Oh, suicide by cop. Okay, yeah, there's probably been a few of those too. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Sure. I mean, it's really horrible. And the thing is, when you break it down, they're subjected to multiple tours and so on and so on. It's no wonder this type of stuff's going on.
It's time to bring this to a stop right now. And there's nothing that's going to get their attention and get some kind of action as the bill that's crossing their desks that has impeachment written at the top of it. Now that's actually going too easy on them, as you know. I recommend decapitation. I'd recommend that they march through the streets of Baghdad with the heads of the leaders from the very top right on down through to everyone who voted in favor of the war should have their own stick upon which their heads should be placed and should be marched through the streets of Baghdad, and then and only then would anything that we could possibly say to the Iraqi people be received in any manner And then I doubt it. I highly doubt it. But that would be.
But it needs to be more specific than that. We have to remember.
What you want? You want to name them off?
No.
Don't forget, we're going to hang Donald Rumsfeld from the
right
sour apple tree.
There's hidden targets, unfortunately. What I mean by hidden targets is, when you look at who's responsible for war, you could say was Bush. Obviously, Bush and Cheney are at the top of the list, and Rumsfeld. Now, when you look
they're right on up there.
And maybe some members of Congress, a lot of members of Congress voted for the war. They were probably against it initially, but they were, quote, pressured into it.
For whatever reason. They won themselves a place on my train.
But the thing is, whose idea was it? In the military industrial complex, private figures, people we probably haven't even heard whose names they are.
Actually, we have.
Or maybe we know, but certain people.
I believe in giving them honorary.
There's a list. There is a list. If I had
we believe in giving them honorary positions in the parade.
And they need to be honorary.
If I had my own Flying Monkey Assassin Squad.
All right, Flying Monkey Assassin Squad.
I know exactly.
Yay! Let's hear it for Flying.
I know exactly who I sent it to.
You would. Let's hear.
Every single person who signed up for the Project for a New American Century.
Yay! Flying Monkey Assassins.
And what is that you just mentioned?
The Project for a New American Century?
I haven't heard of that.
Yep. This is very public.
How about the Bilderbergs? Do they get to go too?
Maybe some.
Go ahead.
That's more in general principle than anything else.
No, what is this project?
The Project for a New American Century. Look it up. It's a very public thing. It's these basically these bunch of guys, a lot of them neoconservatives, and I don't just mean neocon as in they don't think the way we do. I mean actual advocates of neoconservatism in the style of Mr. Strauss. They signed this.
They're Nazis. Go ahead.
Well, Nazis have more style. They signed this document stating what needed to happen to make America great again. How to get us out of the dangerous doldrums of not having the Soviet Union to fight anymore. What needed to happen to maintain our superiority over the planet.
Yeah, you're right. And those people.
Well, it's not secret. It's out there. They signed it. They have their names to it. It's not being denied by them. And one of the things that mentioned was war in the Middle East. So, yeah, there was a plan. It was publicized and published before the war, and it pretty much goes along with this. Of course, they're incompetent, so it didn't go quite that they wanted it to, but there is a plan out there.
All right, and you have the name. They have a list of names.
They got listed a whole bunch of names. Cheney's on there.
You're taking names here.
Yeah, Cheney's. Yeah, that's what I thought. Cheney's part of it. Probably a lot of people in Halliburton, but all these people really need to be held accountable by the public. In a sense, if they were totally boycotted, if everybody wanted to have nothing to do with them, if all businesses refused to have transactions with them, and so on and so on, until they basically felt isolated from everybody, and everybody shouted in their face how horrible their ideas were, and how it's all motivated by their greeds. And how they're exploiting the poor to make money.
This is good.
Basically.
The problem with that, and the problem with what you said, is that it assumes that we can make this all right again. That if we find the right people and get them to publicly confess, and
that's the assumption. You're right.
That some mythical justice will prevail and the world will be right again, or that if we parade their heads through Iraq, which hey, I'm for.
Okay. All right, should we take a vote on it? So you are in favor of the head on the stick parade?
I'm in favor of that.
All right, you're head of stick, three out of.
Okay.
That's 4 out of 4. The motion carries. Head on a stick. And okay, wait a minute. I have an official duty to perform at this part in the official capacity of the Tea Party and in the spirit of the Boston Tea Party and great tea parties in history like that. I have to announce that the motion has carried and we will be it is official. The Tea Party has spoken. The head on a stick parade through the streets of Baghdad has been called for.
Operation Snickersnack is now in effect.
Snickersnack.
Because we definitely have to do something for the American image. Because when you think about if we're not at war with them, we're paying them to be our
But
friends. One or the other. We're either paying them to be our friends, or we're at war or embargoing.
You have to let him talk before he explodes. He's had too much
It was a
caffeine.
dangerously naive position that we can repair our image.
Yes.
The Iraqis will not like us for at least 60 years. We could
60 years? How about 60? How about 600 generations?
Well, we gotta do the best we
TV
can.
is a great amnesiac, but for at least 60 years, we could give them all gold-plated limousines. We could give them the highest standard of living in the known universe.
Right, and they would spit upon us.
And they'd be right to. We can't solve that problem. They don't like us. They should not like us. We should not worry too much about them liking us. We should worry about the constant loss of life.
True.
Well, yeah, that's true. And just, you're right. It's something
that's the
that's
thing.
going to take forever. It's one of those things that don't have instant results, but we need to take steps to, as a country,
Now, how many?
repair our image diplomatically with the world, because we just look like a big bully now,
Okay,
and
now-
rightfully so. And the more this war goes on, the worse our image
All right,
gets.
now let's just do a little bit of bottom line math. Okay, how many soldiers, how many human lives have we lost in the war?
I mean, by we lost, you mean Americans?
Americans.
Well, going by this, I would say over 10,000.
Okay, but you will say soldiers 4,000.
Yeah,
okay,
in actual combat.
in action. Okay, 4,000. Well, let's just call it 4,000. Let's be very conservative.
Very conservative.
Okay, all right. So that, I mean, we are not we're doing anything but exaggerating. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So we're saying 4,000. That's really a small number. Okay, and then how many Iraqi lives have been lost? Can we military and civilian?
I think it's
40,000.
No, over 500,000, if I'm not mistaken. Seriously.
Okay, over 500,000. He thinks it's over 500,000. You think it's 30,000. I think maybe more closer to 500,000 is correct.
I mean, to be conservative, I would like to say 100,000 plus.
100,000 plus. Okay, we're probably looking in the hundreds of thousands.
At least in the hundreds of thousands,
certainly.
Military and civilian.
And also, I mean, let's not. I mean, we can't just include people actually shot by American bullets. I mean, starvation, disease, crime, everything that goes along with this.
Okay, all right. If we could have a head on a stick parade,
right?
All right, through the streets of Baghdad, that would include 50 heads, that would include 100 heads, that would include possibly 500 heads. That would be pretty all inclusive. I think that would really be.
That would probably be enough.
If we could cause something which had 500 heads paraded on a stick, and we would have that horrible loss of life to have to what is it when the state kills somebody?
Execution.
Yeah. If we had 500 executions, and it could stop it and stop the loss of life now,
right?
Would that be worth it?
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. And even if we could do less, even as I said before, just figuring out who these people are and really confronting them on a massive scale and trying to really change. This country just has to change its attitudes. People really need to say America's not number one, because in some ways it's not number one. And that's what gets us in trouble, is thinking we're invincible, because we're not.
We're not invincible?
Yeah, the only thing that really right now we are number one is in military might when it comes to education, when it comes to social reform. When it comes to all the other things, we are down on the totem pole. But
That's right.
When it comes to military might, that's where we say we're number one.
That's where we say we're number one. But one of these days, we're going to lose one of these wars.
Oh, yeah. We lost Vietnam, and we still didn't learn.
And this is basically a stalemate, the way I see it. So we need to just end it. It's not worth it, the way I see it.
I watched. I spent a good while last night watching videos from an outfit you may have heard of called Truth Out Now.
Okay. Yes.
And they were doing their interviews with returned soldiers that had a story to tell, and the stories were horrific. These people have been scarred for life.
Sure.
And I don't know what to say, but and I don't even know what it's called. It's the interviews with the returned soldiers. Truth Out now. Mm-hmm. It's on the internet.
Well, like as even Hollywood is, they've done for TV movie or something I saw at Steve's house that was being advertised based on
Stop Loss.
Stop Loss.
The guy coming
they
back
mentioned that too.
Go back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right.
But I actually, one of the problems with those movies is they're not getting very good play. I mean, there have been a couple of those anti-war modern-day movies, but they're not really getting it. And I think they're approaching it from the wrong tact.
Go ahead.
Well, it's just that, as they always say, the greatest weapon is laughter. Against it, nothing can stand. I think we need a Kelly's Heroes for the. The
problem is it's not funny. The problem is it is so horrific that it's really hard to tell the truth and remain. I'm not even there, and I'm losing my sense of humor over it. You know.
Well, part of the biggest problem is the apathy of our society. The American public has become a consumer sheep, and as long as they have their feed and their fodder and their water, they don't care. They don't want to. They're afraid that if they get out and voice that something's wrong, it may cost them their paycheck.
That's right, and it may. People need to wake up and be willing. You know, nothing ventured, nothing gained. You know, it's going down the tubes. It is going down the tubes. Keep your mouth shut, and it will go down the tubes. And don't think that the next regime is going to save us. That's just a smokescreen. The next regime is not coming in to save us. The next regime is going to want to have all the same powers as the last regime had, and stuff like that. There may be some improvements, but I pray that there are, but the basic they're not fixing the basic problems.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I agree.
And if they do repair them, they'll probably only do maybe 20 or 30% of the repair at best, and still leave plenty of wide open loopholes where still corruption and whatnot could exist. I mean, if you look at the housing crisis, a lot of it's from deregulation of the mortgage industry. The mortgage industry, which set up these people, these brokers and lenders to do what they want to do, which is what they did.
No, see,
what? Or
I have to disagree with that.
Oh, okay.
It is not the quote. Well, it is a banking industry, but not the way you mean.
Yeah, it's the lending industry.
What?
Okay, I'm sorry.
The shearing industry.
The shearing.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Fleecing. It's all about fleecing.
Yeah, I was an economics major. Now, every time a person
You're kidding.
Yeah.
London School of Economics.
And every time somebody went out there and filled out a loan, they put down how much they make and all that. So these banks, with their computers, before they started to jack up the interest rates, they knew. I guarantee you, when they sat in their corporate offices, they were sitting there going, okay, 20% will lose their homes, 15% will come to almost losing them. And they sat there and they said, well, gee, it's time to shear the sheep. Let's raise the interest to where people lose their homes.
They're listed by month.
And think about it.
Sure, I agree.
A person buys, say, a $200,000 home. He's got $5,000 invested into it. Now I raise your interest where you can't make your payments. You walk out.
And I just looked it up
That's
online.
Right. That's exactly what happened.
According to the CNN.
Oh, okay.
655,000.
600, according to CNN.
Right, from CNN is reporting 655,000 Iraqi casualties since we got there.
God.
Oh,
and that's, that's like half the number.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not. It's over
Vietnam, they multiplied it up.
That was right to call it hundreds of thousands.
Yes,
we can say hundreds of thousands.
55,000 Iraqis.
Okay.
How many died in 9/11? 3,000.
3,000
in Iraq.
Oh right, right. Add all the 9/11 people to the.
It's still only 7,000, and we killed
half the people supposedly on that plane didn't die in 9/11.
Right.
Do you know about that?
Well, you do know that while the building was hit, after the building was hit, they were actually telling people, "Oh, go back in the building; it's safe, no more problems."
Oh yeah,
sorry.
that's right. They probably did, and they
did.
did.
I watched a documentary where they were interviewing people that came out of the buildings, and they were being told, "No problem, go back in." See, we won't go for oil for just buildings, but we'll go for blood.
Yeah, I know, it's really sad. I mean, what happened with 9/11 and everything.
Well, the bottom line is, I heard someone say I didn't vote for Bush and go to war with Iraq to pay over $3 a gallon for gas.
Well, yeah, and it could get a lot worse. But anyway,
so
I'm gonna head on now.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you for coming, and good luck with the grass seeding project.
Yeah, I talked to him earlier today. That's why I was delayed, and he's gonna try to get up there Monday or Tuesday, depending on the weather.
Okay.
All right, it's time. It's time. We may as well announce that too, in case you haven't noticed. It's time to put the seeds in the ground, kids.
That's
so
right.
Get out there and
plant your grass.
That's
seed.
right. Get some seed out. Now it's time to get the seeds in the ground and start. It's that time of year. So let's get to it. There you go.
I just want to touch back on one thing.
Yes.
Our current financial meltdown is not caused by deregulation.
No, it's caused by computers. I went over that earlier. You weren't listening.
It's not caused by computers.
Yes, it is. But go ahead.
It's caused by our money system.
You
want to deregulate something. You want to privatize something. You want to make the economy better. Privatize money.
Well, it is.
They're doing that, didn't you?
It cracked me up when a congressman got up and said how the federal government stepped in through the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is a private bank.
Yes.
It is not the federal government.
Okay, the private reserve is.
Did you notice that too? I noticed that too.
Is a private bank.
On the radio today.
Yeah,
However, it is a private quote unquote company that has a de facto monopoly maintained by the force of the United States government.
Right.
This is wrong, and this is what is costing you your job and your gas money.
No, the problem is.
Yeah, it is. It's just what he said. You were saying the same thing here.
But the biggest problem is we keep putting in people who are backed by corporations, and until we start putting in people who are not backed by corporations, then the corporations are going to be telling us what we're doing in our country.
You could put in people backed by whirling dervishes and jackrabbits from New Mexico. It would not matter. They support a fiat money system, which is strangling the lifeblood of the American economy. And
rabbits from New Mexico.
I thought that was a pretty correct image.
Whirling dervishes or jackrabbits from New Mexico. Yes.
Anyway.
We'll fix it. We'll fix it. I'm sure. That and a parade through the streets of.
I just in fairness, if the Federal Reserve was populated by whirling dervishes and jackrabbits from New Mexico,
it would help.
It would help. Yes, but fiat.
I think money, highly of a dervish.
Fiat money maintained by monopoly is what is killing the American economy. It made a bubble. That bubble is now bursting, and we're all suffering for it. Mm-hmm. The only system that's historically proven to not have this boom-bust cycle, to not kill economies over and over again, is commodity-backed currency, not manipulated by governments.
Well, that's like when we had the difference between now and the Great Depression. During the Great Depression, $1 was worth $35 in gold. I mean, $1 worth gold.
Right.
Okay, because we were on the gold standard. Now, when we went off the gold standard, America went, oh yeah, we're now real rich. Our gold went from 35 an ounce to 500 an ounce.
Right.
But with no standard of what our money is backed by. See, that's what's the difference between. We're in the Great Depression. I don't care what anybody says. The only difference is. Because we don't have our money backed by gold anymore, we're just printing more and more.
Right. Okay. Now wait a minute. Now let me have a chance to talk because I wanted to address that printing more and more. The government is getting ready to hand out all these earned tax credit refunds.
Right.
And what just dawned on me is what they're going to do in order to hand out all these earned tax credit refunds is they're just going to print up a bunch of money and hand it out. Now in the short run, maybe that is going to boost the economy, but in the long run, it's not going to do a darn thing for anybody. And that's that just crossed my mind.
The great growth industry I might get into if I get enough capital together.
The what?
The great growth industry in the next couple of years.
Cancer?
No. Buying wheelbarrows and painting the word wallet on them and handing them out.
Wallet.
Oh yeah, that's what was happening in Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah, after the war, you got paid twice a day, once at 12 and once at the end of the day.
So you could carry it home and.
Well, no, that way. No, so at lunch you could go and buy something because by supper time, the price of that bread may have tripled in value.
That's right. I know. I heard such rumors too. Now, guess what time it is?
Is it time for a roll of some sort?
Let's see. See if Brother Christopher can decide what time it is. What time is it?
4:20?
Huh? Uh-oh.
No, it can't be 4:20.
Okay. Well, if this show started at 2 a.m. in the morning, which the rerun will, the repeat,
it'd be 4:20.
then it's getting ready to be 4:20. So that's the time that we take a little break from the show and we go to the 4:20 roll, and we let you see a little. It's a little segment of similar to an Anarchy TV, a little pre-recorded roll in while we take our own little 4:20 roll break.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is going to be brown.
Let's see. Okay, let's see. What am I doing here? Well, yeah, I'm working on it. But I will find it. And I have found it, and I will make it happen.
Slow blues and jam. Can't do that, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, is that true?
And why can't you? You don't know where it is? Is that true? Yeah, that's it. What kind of tempo? Well, not like doggedly slow. Ready? 1, 2, 3. long leisurely ride in Mr. Wilson's convertible custom stick shift built-in overdrive automobile. The way you love me, darling. God damn it, woman, you don't know how you make me
Aha.
Ah, yes.
We are back.
We're back. The bad pennies come back into Asheville. I've had my 2.5-month vacation at Steve's. You know, it's so funny. I said, Lord, I need a vacation off the streets. Within a couple of days, I'm staying at Steve's. Now that the weather's going to change, hopefully, boom, I'm back in my camp.
Well, this weather's been pretty nice.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
We may get some snow tomorrow. I don't know. It'd be nice. It's my birthday. I'd like to right after the end of my show. I'd like to see about half a foot of snow or so.
My birthday's next Wednesday.
Is
well, I
it?
won't ask
Are
you
you?
your age. I'll be turning 35.
I'll be 24.
See, actually, you got to reverse my notes.
You gotta reverse it.
So I'm 35, yeah. I'm a 3 and a 5. Now it's just the order you
Just
pick.
guess it.
Well, actually, I feel about 12, so yeah. I've never gotten past, I don't think, my teen years.
Well, it's probably better to feel young.
Oh, yeah.
Rather than.
When I get up, sometimes I have to say, body, you're young. I don't care about the pains and my arthritis in my foot. I don't feel that no more. Get to walking.
Sounds like a plan. So I've been working on some backgrounds for you that I was saying I'd like to bring by.
Uh-huh.
I was actually working on a new idea this afternoon, and I hadn't actually planned to coming up, but Jonathan called, so.
Oh.
But I should probably bring it by tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
Okay, well then maybe we'll see you for tea again tomorrow?
Yeah.
With a background.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But you got all cleaned up and everything today. You may even notice I didn't even shave.
Well, I try to get cleaned up the days I don't have to work.
How bad do I look on TV when I don't even shave?
You can't tell.
You keep it far enough.
I was zoomed in earlier, though. I'll show you how far I was zoomed in. I was zoomed in that far. So
You can't really see.
You can't really tell.
To zoom in that far. Oh well.
Yeah.
Oh well. Anyway, I look like what? I look like a woolly booger today. So.
Woolly booger.
Yes, woolly booger.
Nice thing about the dread in the beard, I don't have to worry about combs, or having to shave my beard. I only did it a couple of times in the last 20 years.
Oh, it probably makes it easier for you to get out of the house in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Get out of the camp in the morning or whatever you're doing.
Yeah, it does.
Wherever you may be.
Oh, it's nice, I lay down, I got my pillow.
Yeah.
Why not?
Right. Okay, so what you been up to? You've been making backgrounds for me. You've spent your whole life devoted to making backgrounds for me. Earlier, Michael was sitting out there, and I tried to get Michael to come into tea, and he wouldn't. He never did. He didn't come into tea, and and I had this whole rap, like what I was going to talk with Michael about. I was going to talk about, how creative the show that he and your father do together, and how artistic they are, and I was going to go on and on about all that kind of stuff, but see, he didn't even come in.
That's mean.
Yeah.
You should have showed up. You're always giving him kudos.
Yeah, well, I think we have I think we really enjoy each other, and stuff. I get that impression. But your father's always sending in stuff.
Oh yeah.
Michael will send me, goofy emails and things like that.
Yeah, he sends me a lot of goofy emails too.
I'm always sending emails to both of them. Usually, it's usually just whatever I run across on, I run across some little YouTube thing or something. I'm like, oh, you got to see this,
What was it we were looking at? Jonathan showed me that ninja thing.
Yeah. the running thing where they run and jump.
Well, you guys were showing me that, but he had that little joke one that he sent to you that was like, everywhere there's a ninja, and the two kids were at the party, and the kid's behind him drinking his drink, and he can't see.
Yeah. It was just a still. It wasn't a video. Yeah. Yeah.
No, it was cute.
Right.
I find that I spend way too much time checking emails and not actually getting anything done on the computer.
Indeed.
You get sucked into the YouTube or something.
Oh, me too.
Every 5 minutes, I'm like, I got business to do, and then I gotta look at a video, and then it's all over.
Oh yeah, I spend hours and hours. Once I get on it, I start clicking. I go to my email and I start looking whatever my first email is. It's usually something it's like on eBay or something. I'm like, okay, and so what is okay? No, that's too expensive. No, that's not the right one. It won't do it. Whatever. And then well, maybe as well look at this or that or what else does this guy have? So I wind up looking at too much of that. And then the next is you got a message from somebody at MySpace, and so some large-breasted girl from Argentina wants me to go to her other site and see her pictures, and I'm like, cancel, But as long as I'm over here on my, who's online,
It's like computer ADD.
Right, and so I'm off on that, and 2 hours later, it's like, oh yeah, back to the email. What is the next email? And off and on and go, and then it's like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, and oh man, I've got to run a new 420 roll for tomorrow, and there's no way that and I'm thinking, can I edit it up? But there's no way it would render in time. So I was like,
yep, quit that idea.
And then besides which, good night.
I know how that is.
So.
No, I think I need a clone of myself just to sit there and check emails and sit online. Could be a whole lifetime. Mm-hmm. Never leaving the computer.
Perhaps a social secretary.
Something.
Or being stuck like I am. I can only get on the computer when I go to the public library, and this library only allows you 1 hour. No, actually 55 minutes. So I have no time to be able to download anything or upload anything up into the internet. But the Glow Lady says she'll do some of that for me. Plus, Jonathan says we'll be on the internet by September.
Yeah, I just heard that.
Yeah.
As far as what, though? Just streaming video?
I don't know exactly sure what URTV is going to do, whether it's going to be like the TV station or how they're going
to do it. You don't have a computer. You don't have a laptop, do you?
Mm-hmm. So if anybody would like to donate a Mac laptop, just see me anywhere downtown or at URTV 20.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind one either.
That cup of tea was downright cold. Is the tea in the white pot cold? Let's see.
In the middle.
Did you try some of that one?
Yes.
One? Okay.
You got it?
Oh, it's warm.
Yeah.
Absolutely tepid. No doubt about that. Okay, well, I'll just try this. Thank you.
You're welcome.
See how this is. Yeah. Oh, that's quite good. Yes, it's a little strong.
I mixed mine with that one.
Yes, let me have some of that one, too. I think it should be mixed. And this is probably a bit strong, too. It probably has a bit of a bite to it, doesn't it? All in all.
Well, I think the sugar masked it on mine, so I can't really...
Well, it does. It helps to mask it. The cream also would if I had it, But the sugar mostly helps the flour come to life, too. That's why I always recommended it. Both of the flavored teas, they really just...
One of the guys is going to be doing it at the beginning of May. He told me to give him 10 DVDs, and he's going to be selling them at a kiosk. So I'm going to take my last show, last season, and I'm going to get 10 of them done.
What, sell them when everybody got kicked out? Cox Avenue? Or when you guys had to leave or whatever the situation was? Did you see that show?
No, I didn't see that show.
Yeah, we did a little song off the keyboard.
You might.
He's gonna post it online.
No, I'm over the Cox Avenue thing.
Oh yeah.
That's just.
I didn't know.
And I understand they're going back there tonight, and it's gonna be Kurt's band.
Second Chance.
No, Kurt's band is going to be the band on
Mount Dungeon?
Mount Dungeon tonight,
really?
Rat Jackson.
And they're going back to Cox Avenue tonight.
Yeah, and they're going back tonight. But I'm just over it. I'm at the point where, for myself, and for Mount Dungeon, and for basically most all of these kind of things, we need our own spot.
Yeah. We
really do, because it's just. We don't need to compete with a basketball game. We just don't need to compete with a basketball game. Yeah. If we need to compete with a basketball game, we don't need to be there. We need to be in our own space where basketball game doesn't even exist. And your dad's projector,
that's what I was thinking.
I think should be part of it. I've been trying to tell the guys
I told him even if it's just 1 week, just for some sort of weird celebration, if we could rent out an area and just pop it up.
I think we should try to make it a regular thing. I think we should have our own
space,
our own club, and then we might even want to start videoing the Mount Dungeon episodes there. As far as that goes, we could have like a staging area that had the wall behind it painted blue, and then we could have something we pulled out that could be the screen, and we could do our video in there and our screenings there,
That'd be awesome.
And it just be our club,
That would be really. We where was I? I stopped over at the Biltmore Mall, and they had so many little shops where they're just
Biltmore Square Mall and their empty shops.
empty. Well, like AB Tech has one where it's closed off, so you're not going in there to shop or do anything. So why couldn't
I've
you
seen,
have?
I've seen over by.
Why couldn't you rent out a space like that? They're so cheap too.
Oh, I know, and I just saw a couple of businesses that closed up by.
I mean, you couldn't stay late though.
Yeah, you could.
Japanese restaurant areas.
If in the mall though.
Yeah, there's restaurants that stay open in the mall till late.
Really?
Well, it used to be. I can't think of the name of it, but there was that one that I used to go to, and it was. I think it's still.
Well, I was thinking if you were to really seriously rent out a small area for something like that, where it was closed off, people could come in and watch screenings or something and pay like $2 at the door or whatever. I think
or maybe,
you wouldn't be able to do it.
Maybe we should talk to the people that are running the cinema, the Cinebar. Is that what it's called?
I was thinking about something like that.
Because the Cinebar, that was rocking. You went to that, didn't you?
Not.
You didn't go to the thing at the Cinebar?
No.
Oh, you heard about it?
I did hear about it.
It was great. Yeah. And you heard everybody had a really good time, right?
No, I didn't hear much. My dad wanted to go, and then he said he couldn't go.
Oh.
Something.
Well, everybody had a really good time.
He was like, go, 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 and I ended up working.
It turned out to be. It was kind of fun. It was that was the.
I really liked that setup over there.
So far, it was the most successful event in sort of our group of people being basically the music video people.
Right.
You know,
well, didn't they have?
It was the most successful event I've seen so far.
Really? Did they? Yeah. Don't they show, or didn't they at one point show some of the Rejects films over there or something? Or
I don't know. I didn't go to a Rejects festival.
No,
I've not been
before the movie. I went in there one night, and I thought it was from the Rejects festival that they showed.
I don't know. I didn't really attend any of the Rejects
for your show to start?
stuff. You know, I think it would have cost me money to go to the Rejects things. You know, and I'm really really poor, and so I rarely go to anything. I mean, they actually gave me a ticket or whatever to that, so I went to it. You know, I mean.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing talking with Glow Lady, doing something like $3 ticket to be, you know, to come in and be in the audience, and having a door prize. You know, and take $1 from each ticket for URTV, $1 for Glow Lady, and $1 to go towards the door prize.
The mix is pretty interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah. I figured we could seat comfortably 10 people in there. That's $30. Get a $10 little door prize.
And we're in the
Studio A.
Just for the live show.
Yeah. And I figured, you know, I hate to say it, but it's true. You know, the Lord one time showed me about wisdom, you know, about sharing all the things I knew, and the Lord said the reason a lot of people don't listen is it's not costing them a dime. You know, something given freely is not valued. So I figured if we actually had a charge to be in the audience for Glow Lady, maybe people, and maybe some of the other shows should do the same thing. Maybe it would encourage people to come. You know, it's like, oh, this is free. Oh, it's not going to be any good. But oh, this is $3. You know. I mean, it seems in the mentality in our society, it's like I'm going to do a bit on the show tomorrow night. You got to watch this about a certain orange juice company and how stupid they think the American consumers are. I'm going to do this bit about it. You know, I've been telling the consumers they're dumb. Now I'm going to show them from the actual side of the manufacturer how dumb they think you are. Because we have become a dumb society. I mean, come on. We're still a society who bought rocks and called them pets. And back then, $2 is what they were going for, and it was just a regular rock. It wasn't no special rock, just a rock.
And you think that's dumb?
Yeah, I really do. You know, come on.
I am
$2
highly
for
offended.
a pet rock.
Yeah, how many pet rocks you got? You got a whole kennel full of them, don't you?
No.
Yeah, I do. I saw that mountain of rocks behind your house.
I live on a rock. It's called a mountain.
Well, now the Japanese are almost as dumb. At least they were buying $200,000 for a boulder here to be shipped over there. I thought about robbing a bunch of land for the boulders, you know. So
well, the thing is, you get a boulder, one of those great big rocks, and like that. I mean, how you got to keep it fed and all.
Oh, heck yeah.
Cleaning up after.
Greedy little monster.
Keep cleaning up.
When it hits those teenage years, it's all over.
That's why you put it in a Japanese garden. You know, it's got all that sand to nibble on.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, that's the thing. Some Zen gardens and stuff like that. I'd like to see some more Zen gardens and stuff around town.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Yeah.
I don't really understand the whole Zen garden.
Well,
I mean, they even sell little ones.
Oh, yeah.
But what are... I mean, I get the concept, but what are you really supposed to do? Just sit there and
Well, the concept is
play
as you start to do... you let your spirit flow as you do your design. and then you meditate over what you've done, what's come out of the essence of your spirit. It's for me every time I do one.
It's just fun. It's just a fun.
It's another one of those novelties we could get for free.
Yeah, just buy a bucket of sand and get yourself a rake, you know.
Yeah, you can. Hey, you know what? A little handful of rocks and like a little jar full of sand and like sort of a little box or spot somewhere you can do it, you know, and maybe a stick or two, you know. You can do it. And if you've got a spot like in your backyard and like some pea gravel or something, you can.
Yeah, right. How much were they selling the little ones? They were like $25-$30 for a little sand, a little rock, this little rake-looking things they could just do.
But I wouldn't say to go. I wouldn't say to go buy the little kit. I would just say go and get make your own. Go find your own little rocks and some sand and some whatever it is you want to make it out of, and make yourself like a little bench so that you can sit out there in your little Zen garden and, you know, and curse the weeds that grow up between your rocks. Whatever.
I tell you what, the kids now are missing out on the fun because going out in your backyard making mud and just making a mess is more fun than anything.
And they're not allowed to make mud anymore.
Well, they just don't.
They just don't do it. You know what? I'll tell you what.
I got a video game to beat.
Exactly. That's the point of it. Kids don't even go outside. The kids don't even go outside anymore. They sit in front of the video game. They're missing the real world entirely. Yeah, they don't roll in the mud.
Chris out your friend, throw some mud at them.
The kids,
so much more fun.
Kids do not stay up till nearly midnight on summer nights playing hide and go seek anymore.
No. I used to love doing that. In the middle of the night, you go hide under your neighbor's car and like grab them by their ankle when they're in.
How can they ever develop as human beings if they don't do that?
They don't have any creativity.
They're just going to be in front of the
imagination.
television set. Oh man, we're doomed. It's a doomed generation.
Very true.
It's true. I don't know. All right, this has been one of them kind of shows. You know what I mean?
We're all doomed.
Yeah.
Quick, go make some mud. Find yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've been sitting here hogging. You know what happens is I don't look at the screen very often, and I'd left you off the.
We're back.
There she is.
I'd left you off the screen just entirely there. I'm sorry.
It's all going.
It's all right.
Feminine voice, but where is she?
I forgive you.
Yeah. Well, without Igor here to point, I thought we were going to have Igor today. I thought that Adam was going to come back. He said he would, but perhaps I was supposed to give him a ride. I don't really know. I'm not always completely. I'm lucky to get myself here on time. And, you know, sometimes.
I can understand that. I'm lucky to get anywhere out here.
Right.
Try to get somewhere on time.
Yeah. I went and had my picture made for the Faces of Asheville. That was a very enjoyable experience, and it's over now. Too bad that it's over now. And now I'm plugging it, of course. But we can be looking forward to the exhibition and stuff like that.
Yeah, I want to see.
I'm in it too. I went and got my picture.
John encouraged me to go, and I didn't even have nowhere to start. So when he was telling me about it before.
Did Jonathan go?
Oh no, not. I don't know if he did, but John from Mount Dungeon.
Oh, did he go? I wonder. I don't know. Well, anyway, I went and I took one of my microphones, not this one, but.
Awesome. So you get to do like a little personality kind of shot, or?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They all are.
That's cool.
And I looked at there was only like a half dozen, maybe 8 or something up on the wall, and like there were at least 2 or 3 people that I recognized, that I knew that were up on the wall, and one of my friends had a ukulele, and things like that. I thought it was cool.
I'll have to check it out.
So it's getting close to time to run the end credits, but I'll wait. Oh, I'll go ahead and run the end credits, and then we'll come back. You know what I mean? They don't have to be exactly on time because there's no way to make them exactly on time. We'll just let's see.
We're gonna take a walk.
Huh?
I said we're gonna take a walk. Not really.
We're gonna take a walk. Okay, let me see.
Good morning. Welcome to the Pleasure Saucer.
always, Cry Theater and Private Fire.
$100 when you find out one of the kids actually made his for like 20.
I like the little window. You could backwards. You
can't. Backwards?
No, I said I'm backwards. I don't know which way my hand's going.
I know. It's always that way. We're used to looking in mirrors.
Yeah.
And that doesn't work
so
like a mirror.
Wait a minute, I'm confused.
That works the opposite way from a mirror.
Push the button.
Actually, seeing yourself on TV is the only way you're really going to see what you look like.
I think I have to look on that side.
So we'll just let the end credits roll like that in its little window while we listen to a little bit of Bach in the background, which is always nice. And we've enjoyed having tea today. I hope you've enjoyed having tea. I think we had a killer show today.
I wish I had seen it earlier, but thank you again for showing the chicken video.
Yeah, you missed the chicken video.
I always miss it.
Let me tell you, see, there's this little chicken, and the chicken goes to the doctor and says, "I can't sing and dance." And
oh yeah, I've seen that one. It's pretty good.
I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, it's really good.
What crazy cracker would come up with something like that?
And so the doctor says, "Don't worry, we got it, doc." And so it's like this operation, with a very bloody operation, with the scissors and stuff, and eventually the little gadget starts working. And
I'm sorry, I'm part of the new generation. My mom says I can't watch that. We get that channel blocked.
The
parental chip.
The V chip has got it.
I can't watch gory chicken videos.
All right. Well, the show is almost over, and it's time for us to say that the Mad Scientist Tea Party is based on proven scientific fact. What is it? It's a proven scientific fact that things are more like they are now than they ever have been. And we'll be back, I reckon, tomorrow with more proven scientific facts and maybe good rants and good guests. Maybe, the Mushroom Man tends to come in on Fridays. Yeah. And on the 18th, we're supposed to have the girl that did the photography for the Faces of Asheville. She's emailed me and said she'll be back on.
Oh,
you got an email from her too. I don't know if you know it or not.
Oh, okay, let's go.
But you haven't checked your email in the last 24 hours, have you?
No.
See, I know that. And
see, unfortunately, like I said, I have to go to the library and get that 1 hour, and I have to strictly go to each one to make sure I, don't miss nobody. I can't spend an hour on one email. I got 55 minutes.
Mad Scientist Tea Party is an extension of Anarchy Television, and there is our P.O. Box.
Yes.
The box in a box.
That's it.
Box in a box.
You got any complaints? Keep them to yourself.
Take a hike.
And we are off at 7:18.
That wasn't too bad, was it?
No.